Welcome. In today's video we'll talk about 10 of the best MCU movies. Let's get started. Number 10, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014. Still reeling from the destructive events in New York, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Chris Evans, teams up with Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, and Falcon, Anthony Mackie, for a new mission. There's a wicked conspiracy lurking around the spy agency S.H.I.E.L.D., but just as the trio comes close to cracking it, an enemy from Steve's past resurfaces: the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan. Fans of MCU movies with more action than humor loved the flawless choreography and intense fight scenes in Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Making it into the top 10 MCU movies, the slow revelation of Steve and Bucky's complicated past also makes for compelling viewing, as audiences are introduced to the now iconic duo's dark experiences. Number 9. Captain America, Civil War, 2016. When the government steps in and proposes a restrictive system to keep the Avengers accountable in Captain America, Civil War, the heroes fall on opposing sides of the argument. Some side with Captain America, who insists on total freedom. Others agree with Tony Stark, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., who welcomes the oversight. Discussions soon turn into a war between the two groups, which culminates in a dangerous fight between heroes. Captain America, Civil War has some of the most epic action sequences in the MCU, which helped make its premise work. Seeing the heroes' discord within the group gave fans a wholly different perspective and incredibly high stakes, not to mention the way it delved into the characters, personalities, values, and motives. Number 8. Thor, Ragnarok, 2017. It's the weird and wacky third installment in the Thor solo movies. Taika Waititi directs this cosmic superhero movie that dramatically differs from the previous Asgardian adventures in a more light-hearted and comedic approach. From the Grandmaster, masterfully played by Jeff Goldblum, to the immediate favorite Cog, voiced by Taika, it had many memorable characters and scenes. Thor, Ragnarok received praise for many attributes, from its direction and humor to the musical score and visual effects, and critics considered it the best in the Thor series. The film became a box office hit and the highest-grossing Thor movie. Not even Waititi's follow-up, Thor, Love and Thunder, could top it on IMDb. Number 7. Iron Man, 2008. Where would we be without Iron Man? We wouldn't have the expansive multiverse we do today, and we'd have missed out on some movie-making history. Where would the epic adventure that is the MCU be without Tony Stark and his suits of armor around the world? Would there even be one? It is the one that started it all and paved the way for future Avengers Initiative projects. While the idea of the MCU back at the beginning of the 2000s wasn't as popular as it is today, it's tough to imagine this superhero adventure without the character that brought the franchise to life. 2008 Iron Man is the definition of an oldie but a goodie. It may not have done fantastic in the box office compared to future MCU projects, but it remains one of the most favorable among fans and critics alike. Number 6. The Avengers, 2012. Marvel is great at bringing beloved characters together for high and mighty team-ups, and they've undoubtedly given us some unforgettable moments between characters throughout their first 15 years. While Endgame and No Way Home are incredibly memorable for their own unique reasons, there's something about the original Sixer first team-up that lives rent-free in our minds. It's still arguably the best Avengers movie. Marvel's The Avengers culminated the movies in Phase 1 of the MCU, and it did exceedingly well. The film became a huge success, earning multiple award nominations, including BAFTA and Academy Awards, for its impressive visual effects. The movie was a success among both fans and critics, and remains a rewatchable classic today. Number 5. Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014. It may be one of the goofiest movies within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but when they're as chock full of classic Marvel comedy as Guardians of the Galaxy was, we can't help but love them even more. Its soundtrack is full of classic songs like Blue Suede's, Hooked on a Feeling, and ELOS, Mr. Blue Sky, and is jam-packed with pop culture references for us geeks to enjoy. Guardians of the Galaxy certainly wasn't a disappointment. It was a different angle to Marvel that we hadn't seen before, as the only otherworldly beings we'd seen until that point were Asgardians. The film received positive feedback from critics and fans and had everyone asking for more wacky antics from the Guardians. Number 4. Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3. 2023. A fantastic example of a sequel done right, Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3 offers a fitting ending for the band of unlikely heroes that fans have come to love over the years. It follows a heartbroken Quill, still hurting from Gamora's death, as they go against a powerful new villain to rescue one of their own. Vol. 3 draws from what the movies have become known for, using viewer emotional attachments to the characters to create high stakes that make the intense action sequences more effective. Of course, it has a lot of humor to go along with heart, and will go down in MCU's history as one of its most successful movies. Number 3. Spider-Man: No Way Home, 2021. It's everything we wanted and more. We had Tobey Maguire's original Spidey from the 2000 Sam Raimi trilogy, Andrew Garfield's amazing Spidey from the Mark Webb duo, and of course, Tom Holland's Spidey from the latest John Watts trilogy. We even had the original villains portrayed by their original actors. Whether you grew up with the movies or came to love them later in life, fans' nostalgia senses went haywire. They even did the meme. Spider-Man: No Way Home is one of the most highly anticipated movies of 2021, and fans weren't disappointed. Another box office hit for the MCU, the Spidey film became an instant rewatchable Marvel classic, in large part thanks to the touching way it seemingly concludes Holland's story in the franchise. Number 2. Avengers: Infinity War, 2018. The Avengers and the Guardians work together against their most powerful enemy yet, Thanos, Josh Brolin, an intergalactic warlord who's determined to collect all of the powerful Infinity Stones to kill half of the universe. His twisted mind believes that this will help achieve true balance, so Thanos will stop at nothing and murder millions to achieve his goal. This high-stakes feud between the heroes and now legendary villain in Avengers: Infinity War gave fans some of the most intense fight scenes, emotional moments, and heartbreaking goodbyes in the franchise. The movie's jaw-dropping conclusion shocked the world, and fans would have to begin their most frustrating wait to see what the surviving heroes would do next. Number 1. Avengers: Endgame, 2019. The end of Phase 3, and what an end it was. We laughed, cried, sobbed, and by the end, we were in complete denial. But any film that can play with your emotions as much as this one did, is typically going to be a winner, and unsurprisingly the highest-rated Marvel movie. The highly anticipated culmination of the Avengers movies took fans on a wild and emotional ride. And viewer finally got to hear Steve say those two little words they've been waiting for over a decade. Avengers: Assemble. When Endgame was released, it was almost instantly a topic of conversation among Marvel fans as to whether it would top Avatar as the highest-grossing movie ever. It peaked at first place before slipping back to second place, where it has remained ever since.